I am currently compiling Dave's videos that he thinks that he's deleted, but I have them. I copied a lot of Dave's videos while he was around, and I want YouTube to know what a bully this man is and what a disgrace this man is. I've had a lot of people come to me and say that Dave directly implicated Shanann's parents in the murders, which is a complete false and vicious vindictive lie. And I just want you to know this is the intro to a podcast that I made just before his channel went down. And the channel was saying this channel no longer exists. But it appears that this channel has, his channel has reappeared once again. So I think Dave is doing peekaboo with us. But I'm currently compiling some videos of Dave to show YouTube what a disgusting human being this is, and hopefully, inform people that this kind of stuff has been going on YouTube. This kind of bullying and victim blaming has been going on YouTube for many years, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Dave has been exposed for the piece of, can't say the words, that he is. And I knew it from the very beginning. I knew when he started on the Nicole Kessinger angle that he was up to no good. And now we know about his sex addiction and his adult web searches and the activities that he's been going on with behind the scenes. Now we know about that. It's very understandable why he was exploiting the Nicole Kessinger involvement theory and why he had such an obsession with her. I think it was on December the 28th last year, so not long ago, when I put out my first podcast letting people know that Dave was a scammer, a fake detective, and a con artist. And I got a great deal of feedback and I got a lot of support, but I also got a substantial amount of hatred from his supporters. And I'll just name a few of the people who left some really nasty messages on my channel. Janice Rubino, Lulu Ocean, Janet Martinson. Dave does not tell lies, says Lulu Ocean, nor is he in his late 60s. You seem to know a heck of a lot about someone you don't know. Cult followers, you have a nerve. I know nothing about Dave. You are out of line and obviously obsessed with him. And no, he's not telling lies. He is not exploiting anyone. And he is in fact very much for the truth. That was part of the message that Lulu Ocean wrote underneath that particular podcast. But I feel very much vindicated after all that's come out about him. I just knew long before, and I'm not looking for credit, and I'm not looking for an apology from his supporters who attacked me for speaking out. I'm not looking for your apology. I'm not even looking for you to admit that you were wrong about him and that I was right. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for credit. I just wanted people to know what I was seeing from my point of view. And this is a man who is the biggest liar and the biggest deceiver, one of the top 10 biggest liars and deceivers that I've ever seen on YouTube. And there he was all along, sitting on his high horse, criticizing Nicole Kessinger because she'd had an affair with a married man. And look what he was doing behind the scenes, the filthy things that he was doing behind the scenes. Before I continue, let me just say that I'm not a perfect person, okay? I'm not an angel. Take one look at me and I think you can figure out that I'm no angel, okay? I don't pretend to be. I've always been a rebel. I've always been somebody who is clearly no saint. I've done some of the things that Nicole Kessinger has done. I've taken racy photographs. I'm not an angel by any stretch of the imagination. But at least I wasn't sitting there on my high horse judging everybody else negatively the way that Dave was. All the while he was being a misogynist, and yes, he's a misogynist as well as a psychopath. All the while he was throwing stones at Nicole Kessinger. Look what he was doing. Look at his text messages. Look at what he was recording, people in their most intimate moments. Look at the activity that he was doing. Do you honestly believe that he was ever seeking the truth? Do you honestly believe that this guy could ever solve a crime case or get a crime case reopened? Give me a break. Give me a break. I noticed that he deleted the video where he was swearing and yelling at people for stealing his work. And I did think initially that was a direct result of the podcast that I put out. But then he was exposed. And now we know what he was doing behind the scenes. I think that he felt self-conscious. And let me just say, around the time that I started putting videos out on Dave, I got in contact, or I was introduced to Kelly from What's the Obsession. Now, I get along very well with Kelly. I think she's intelligent. I like her. We get along. I don't agree with all her views at all. I don't agree with everything that she puts out. And we definitely disagree on some things, including the subject of AD. However, Dave was threatened by her and bullied her, because she was a woman. And she was a woman who had come on the scene. She was doing the Watts case, and she was overtaking his subscribers. She was gaining more subscribers than he was. And he decided that he was going to bully her and attack her. And his team, along with Don Joe, decided that they were going to try and get her channel removed. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that's on Kelly's channel. I don't agree with all of her views. However, she was bullied by Dave because she was a woman who had come on the scene, and she was starting to take some of his subscribers away. So he went on a campaign to bully her, but it didn't work. And that's when I noticed that he decided to put his sub count to a private. He privated his sub count so people couldn't see it anymore. And then he started deleting videos. Videos would disappear and reappear, and he started to rearrange his channel, which I think he's still doing. What really stung him is that he was trying to get a competitor of his, who is Kelly, at, the What's Obsession channel. He was trying to get that channel shut down because he didn't like that she was gaining more popularity than him. That's the kind of bully that this man is. And he went on a campaign to bully her and to try and bring shame on her. Unfortunately, I do think she fell for his scam for a while. But the guy is a misogynist. He doesn't like the fact that a woman has overtaken him in popularity. And that's why he, for a time, and I don't know how long, he privated his subscription viewing. He put it to private so no one could see how many subscribers he's got, because Kelly's channel started to overtake him in subscribers, and he did not like that at all. And that's one of the reasons why he was accusing her of stealing. He accused AD of stealing as well, which is nonsense, because the things that were put out by the FBI or the CBI, the material and the footage that we have of Chris Watts, doesn't belong to any of us, doesn't belong to anybody running any channel. It's public. It's a matter of public record. So even if it's edited by Dave or one of his team, he doesn't own the Watts footage. He doesn't own the footage of Chris Watts. It's not his work. What's going on with Dave and AD is you have two narcissists, two peacocks strutting their feathers, trying to get an audience, trying to nick audiences from each other and trying to be more popular than each other. People who are in competition with each other and people who want to eliminate their competition. Both Dave and AD want to eliminate their competition. Dave does not like AD. He wants him off the scene. And the same thing with AD. AD's telling everyone not to listen to Dave, not to believe Dave, not to do this with Dave. But both of them are narcissistic. Both of them want credit for things that, if you're really looking for justice, then you're not interested in credit. You're not interested in owning shadows. Shadows don't solve, finding shadows doesn't solve a crime case. You know, AD was there saying how he's going to sue Bam Bam for saying that he didn't find the shadows. No judge is going to care about whether AD found shadows or not. Finding shadows does not solve a crime case. And AD does not care at all about Dave's victims. AD just wants to ruin Dave because Dave is competition. Dave and AD are vying for the same audiences and for the same gullible people to believe them. Both of them have used the Watts case as a way of building their egos, as a way of giving themselves credit, you know, over things that no one should be giving themselves credit for. This is a crime case that has already been solved and is a closed case. Neither Dave or AD are going to get this case reopened. Let's just say that. Whether you believe me or not, it's up to you. It's up to you. I'm just telling you what my opinion is. Neither Dave or AD are going to get this case reopened. They're not going to get anyone arrested. They're both stringing you along. The difference between them is that AD has a lot more style. He's always one step ahead. People think that AD is stupid. He's not. He's not stupid at all. He is having a field day. AD is having a field day with exposing Dave because he wants to completely eliminate his competition. Dave doesn't want AD to have a channel. He doesn't want, neither of them want to be competing with each other. They both want to eliminate their competition. They both see each other as a threat. And, AD was saying how he's going to take Bam Bam to court for saying that he didn't find the shadows. Like I said, no judge is going to care about AD's shadows. And AD has a habit of saying he's going to do something but doesn't do it. He's not taking Bam Bam to court over this nonsense because no judge would care about AD and his shadows. These creators are both trying to get credit for something that has, a crime. They're trying to get credit for a crime that has already been solved. Of course, we can still talk about the Watts case. I still do from time to time. Of course, it's a fascinating case. Of course, there's still lingering questions. But they've both used this case to exploit victims. There's AD talking about how he cares about victims. If he really cared about victims, he would have spoken about this a long time ago. He waited for the right moment to pounce on this story and to have a field day with it so he could gain an audience, a new audience, and so he could spring it on us as a surprise. It's a grandstanding gesture, not because he cares about victims. He just wants to eliminate Dave and Dave wants to eliminate him. That's all it is. They're both in competition with each other for the same gullible audiences. But it just so happens that AD is one step ahead. AD is a lot more crafty. AD is a lot smarter than Dave is. But yeah, neither of these guys are going to solve this. There's nothing to solve. The Watts case is a closed case. But it will be interesting to see what will happen from now on. It will be interesting to see after Dave's fake apology video, the the video that he put out that has since disappeared, last time I checked, where he apologized, he's not sorry. He's sorry that he got caught. That's all he's sorry for. And, AD is very angry with anyone who is forgiving Dave, because AD desperately wants Dave to be taken off the scene. And Dave, the same. Neither of them want to be competing with each other. Neither of them wanting to be vying for the same audiences. They both see each other as a threat. And there you have it. And I'm not done yet. There are more episodes to come. There are more podcasts to come on this subject because I haven't finished. I have compiled a list. I have Dave's videos. So the things that he thinks he's deleted, I already copied them. So I have the tape of him swearing and yelling at people and accusing people of stealing from him. So deleting those videos or privating them or removing them is not going to help him. I've already got the evidence.